Hi, I'm Michael Goddard. In this video, we're going to look at uh, all of the pieces over here on the left-hand side of the tray, kind of go through those and see what they're all about. So I've got them laid out here on this table in roughly the same order. We'll just kind of start here at the bottom row. So we've got all these little uh, nice cable holders. So whenever you need to do a little bit of cable management, you can take one of these motor cables or sensor cables and put it in there, and so that's going to be real helpful. You can see it's got an axle hole there for anything that's got that sort of plus shape to it. All right, so you've got the different colors there, the blue and the green and the fuchsia. And then, so here's just regular axle going in there. And you've got axles of different sizes here. Up here, these nice smooth tubes actually are for, I'll grab one of these black pins. You can put a pin on one side and you can put a pin in the other, and so it's a nice pin connector there. So that's what those are all about. Now, these 90-degree connectors are 90-degree axle connectors. So you can see they've got the cross hole there. So you can put an axle there, an axle in here, and then right there at the vertex, you've got a pin hole. So you can put pins, friction pins, non-friction pins. So leave that off to the side. Up here, you've just got more axles. Then these right here, you've got the axle with the ball and socket, more of like a socket end there. Then these right here, sort of like all these like 0-degree connectors. So you can put an axle in on one side, but that's that's about it. Then you can put a pin there in through that top point. So working our way across these little small axle positions, and then just as a reminder, over here at any point, if you're not sure of the size, you can bring this sheet here and see, okay, that's a 7 size axle. All right, up here we've got some more cable management connectors, and then obviously an obtuse angle there. I can't remember exactly what it is. I think it's around 135 degrees on this axle connector with a pin there at the vertex. These are also axle connectors. You can't put the axle all the way through. You can put one axle on one side, and then you can get another axle on the other side. And so it's a good way of connecting axles. We call this an axle extender in my class. These little teeth right here, you can see you put an axle there, and then this is normally you put this next to the wheel to kind of indicate. Let's see if I can grab a wheel over here. Normally you do something like get one of these little red guys and put it in there, and then as the wheel rotates, you can kind of see where it's how much it's rotated based on this, sort of like as a marker. All right. These are also, you could consider axle extenders. An axle on one end, an axle on the other end, and then a pin in the middle. So sometimes you need the pin, sometimes not. Put that there. Speaking of pins, we've got lots of different ones. Oh, here they are, up here on the top right corner. I can't believe I didn't see it. These are those ball pins here, which you can snap into that ball and socket, and then if you hold the pin, then this axle can move around, but it's still locked in there. Pull it out with a little bit of force. So those were the ball pins. They're right up here. What else do we have? So I want to talk about the standard pin. That's the just the standard black friction pin. You've got 72 of these. All right. So I'll grab an axle over here, and yeah, you just put it in and snap it in. That's your basic pin. And once it's in, there's some friction there, so you can see I'm rotating the pin and the whole axle is moving. Though it is possible to spin it around with a little bit more force. Now, by way of contrast, you've got these gray longer pins and these sort of beige half pin, half axles. Let me show you what happens when I put these. Are the gray and the beige are sort of an indicator, sort of a common color here for in the Lego Technic system, if I can get it in there, where it's going to have, oh, I take that back. There is friction there. So if you look real close, you can always see the ridges there. So this is what we call a bazooka pin, and this one has friction. That's interesting. But then I'll go over here to this beige one, and yeah, totally, you can see I'm moving that around. What else here? So these blue ones are long pins. You can put a beam all the way through, and then another beam, and then even a third beam if you need to connect them. So these are really good for connecting multiple beams. This is an axle with a stop, and there's a pin on the other side, so that can be kind of useful if you need to do that. And then these bushings are good. They'll go up to an axle, and they provide some level of friction, particularly maybe if you've got a wheel or something and you want that wheel to stop at a particular location. You can put a bushing on either side like that, or even if you've got a beam for support and you want to provide a little bit of a space between that and you don't want the wheel to go into that, then those bushings can provide that level, that spacing, plus it will prevent the beam from moving. Now you can still move it if you apply enough force, but that's going to kind of be significant. So you can see there I can spin it easily while holding on to it. Up here with the gray, the bazooka pins, the blue long pins, the black friction pins, these ball pins, the axle pins. And then if we look over here, everything that's sort of on the left part of the tray is just your standard Lego pieces. Oh, here's a little bushing that got kind of lost. So some angle pieces, and then I would consider all of these pieces up here just decorative, or you got the eyes and these little triangular prisms, and obviously the people and stuff like that. So the Lego minifigures. So this right here is going to be a lot of your building tools and your connecting tools and things like that, and then this is going to be for the different tasks and things that you're going to work on. All right, hope that's helpful for you. Good luck building.